Hello students, as we have already started lesson number 3 of geography migration. In our last video we have discussed that what is migration. Migration is the movement of human being between one geographical region to another with the aim to settle down definitely or temporarily. Then we have done the types or classifications of migration. First was the international migration. International migration means the migration of people from one country to another country where they are crossing the international borders. And second was the internal migration, means migration of people within a country, means they are moving one location of their own country to another location of their own country, but they are not crossing international border. And this internal migration can be classified into 4 migration streams. First, that we have already done, rural to rural migration, where population migrated from one village to another village. Second is rural to urban, where population or people migrate from rural area to towns or metro or metropolitan cities. So up to this we have done in our last video. Today we are going to start with its third category, that is urban to urban. So when we are talking about internal migration, where people are not crossing international border, just they are moving from one part of their country to another part of their own country. And when we are talking about urban to urban, it means already they are living in urban areas and further they are migrating from that urban area to some another urban areas. Under this, people migrate from small towns with less facilities to large cities or metro cities with more facilities. Means people migrate from small towns towards the big one, like cities, metropolitan cities. So why they are migrating from one urban area to another urban area? Due to less facilities in their own towns and due to more facilities in another towns or another metropolitan cities, they are shifting from one urban area to another. This is the reason, and this is the reason that metro cities have grown at a much faster rate as compared to other towns. So question could be there, why metropolitan cities are growing much faster? Because in metropolitan cities more facilities are there. That's why people from one urban area, they are shifting towards these other metropolitan cities or urban areas to get these facilities. In fact, small towns are constantly losing to big cities. The vacuum thus caused in small town is filled by subsequent in migration from surrounding rural areas. So due to this reason, when population is migrating from one urban area towards another urban area, and that particular urban area is covered with the population that is coming from rural area, so with the passage of time that urban area started to develop into bigger one, and those particular metropolitan cities, they started to populate very thickly due to this migration from urban areas. Then fourth is urban to rural. So this is the last phase of internal migration, and this is very typical. So such a movement takes place at the advanced stage of urbanization, when urban centers are characterized by over congestion, Means why people will move from urban area towards the rural. This movement happened only when this is the advanced stage, means highly development is there, area is well developed, citizens of that particular area are well developed, nothing we can say like scarcity of any type of thing, development is there, everything is there. So then they started to move from that particular developed urban areas towards the rural, because in that particular urban areas overconsumption is there, overpopulation, that areas when become thickly populated, then that particular one particular portion of population started to migrate towards the rural areas. And hazards growth means irregular growth, high cost of living in these metropolitan cities, living is very expensive. To avoid this, they started to move towards the rural areas. Then heavy pressure on public utility services due to more population, there is a burden on public utility services, so people, just to avoid this thing, they started to move towards the rural areas. Unemployment, so why unemployment there? I just told that this is highly developed stage. So when population will increase very thickly, definitely unemployment will be there. Then to avoid this kind of circumstances, the population that is already living in that particular urban area, they will start to shift towards the rural areas. So that shifting will be known as urban to rural. Then next topic is causes of migration, why people are migrating. So various causes are there, we are having various factors like economic, social and political factors. So let us start with first, that is the most important factor, that is economic factor. Most of the studies indicate that migration is primarily motivated by economic factor. In developing countries, low agriculture income, agriculture unemployment and underemployment. So when we are talking in developing country, we are talking about the countries like India that are not developed but under the process of development, and where agriculture income is less. Then another thing is there, agriculture unemployment and underemployment, means employment is there but that is not up to the mark, they are not getting proper salary. It's okay, they are getting employment but they are not getting proper salaries, proper facilities, that are underemployment. The lack of alternative sources of income, when they are not having other extra alternative sources of income, so are considered basic factors pushing the migrants towards developed areas with greater job opportunity. So these are the reasons why people moving towards other areas that are developed for the better opportunities, or due to these factors they are moving towards that area. Then opportunities for better employment, higher wages, facilities, better working conditions and attractive amenities are pull factors. Question could be there, write down pull factors. Or what are pull factors? Pull factors are those factors which are attracting population for migration, so they are pulling them towards themselves. Like for better employment, one person will migrate towards that particular area where employment is available, where high wages, more salaries are available, more facilities are available, better work conditions are available. So these are pull factors. Then introduction of capital intensive method. Capital intensive method means that required large investments, more money where is required into agriculture sector and mechanization of a certain process that reduced requirement in rural area. For example, agriculture was already there, but due to the modernization, due to the technology, due to more money investment, more capital investment, now the requirement of labor persons is reduced. So that person, those who were earlier getting employment there in this kind of agriculture area or rural area, they will shift from that area towards another one. Then the non-availability of alternative sources of income, they will shift from that area towards another area. So these are the important factors for migration in rural area. And the pull factors are factors which attract the migration to an area. So this is the definition of pull factor. So first we have done that economic factor. All the economic factors are related to economy, money, earning, wages, facilities, and employment. Okay. The second is the marriage. Marriage is a very important social factor of migration. In rural areas, most of the girls have to migrate to their in-laws' place of residence after marriage. So when girls get married, they have to shift from their parental homes or parental areas to that where their in-laws are living. So that is the reason behind migration. Then third one is the education. Rural areas by and large lack education facilities, means they are not having higher education facilities. At least universities are not there, good colleges are not there. So to get that kind of higher education, students will migrate from their own area towards that where education facilities are more, and many of them settle down in the cities for earning a livelihood after completing their education. So one person migrate for the purpose of good education, then after completing his or her education, generally they used to settle down there only to get earning, to get livelihood, or simply we can say to get employment. They settle down permanently there, they never return back. And fourth one is the lack of security. When we are talking about this fourth one, lack of security, that depends upon many factors like political disturbances. A particular area where political disturbance is there, political riots or other type of wrong practices are going on, so those who don't want to live in that kind of situation, they will move from that area towards the area where peace, stability will be there. And interethnic conflicts means where different morals are there, different ideologies are there. So due to that, conflicts could be there. So where conflicts are due to that different morals, due to different ideologies, then those people who don't want to live in that kind of situation, they will shift from that area towards another area. So all these kind of things, political disturbances and interethnic conflicts, they drive people away from their homes, they push them out from that particular area towards another one. Then large number of people have migrated out of Jammu and Kashmir and Assam during last few years due to disturbed conditions there. So this is example given here of political disturbances that they shifted from that area towards another one just to avoid that kind of conditions. Then people also migrate on a short term basis in search of better opportunities for recreation, healthcare facilities, legal advices, or for whaling service which the nearby towns provide. So this is a temporary migration when person needs something like education, for recreation enjoyment, or for some type of health services, or some kind of legal advices. They will shift for very short time period, and after availing whatever they were having in need, they will return back to their own areas. So then these are the causes of migration. So now population migrated. So definitely when population migrated, some kind of impacts will be there. So what are those impacts, or the impacts of migration? Both areas will be affected, one from where they migrated and another where they were received. So migration affect both the areas of origin of migration and the areas of destination of the migrant population. So let's start with first one, that is demographical consequences. So migration leads to unbalanced demographic distribution of population within the country. It means the area which not suitable and people started to migrate from that area, that will less populated now, and the area where they are getting migrated, that will be thickly populated, and where they are migrating, that area will have more skilled population. Only the able-bodied young people migrate from villages to cities or to other countries in search of jobs, and the rest of the family members stay back. So the area from where they are migrating, only those who are aged persons, those who are not much capable, only they will stay back, and rest of the youngsters or educated capable person, they will move from that particular area towards the another one. So this leads to a serious migration problem, that is imbalance in age and sex ratio, particularly in area of high out migration. Like examples are given here, like Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Eastern Maharashtra. So here population is migrating towards other area, and similar imbalances are seen in the recipient states also, those who receive them. Then second is social consequences. Migration results in interaction between varied cultures and leads to their diffusion. Means the person, those who came from one particular area, they are having their own customs, their own culture, and where they are getting migrate, that is having another culture, another custom, and then it will be a mingling of those two, mixture of those two different kind of cultures. And the receiving areas receive people belonging to different cultures through migration, which lead to cultural interaction and enrichment. So this is positive effect when two different cultures, two different type of customs will be mixed with each other. In the historic times, India received migrants belonging to different cultural groups, which led to intermixing of one culture with the other. However, coming together of people belonging to different culture leads to cultural conflicts in certain cases. So with these positive effects, some negative effects are also there, because when two persons are having different culture, they are having different type of ideologies, definitely conflicts could be there. Then family breakdown, again negative impact, fragmentation of social networks, and and psychosocial stress are other negative impacts of migration. So question could be there, write on the positive impact and negative impacts. So from here you can write down the negative impacts of migration. And the emotional impact is not just limited to the migrants themselves, but also to the family left behind. Those who are left behind means the person, those who are migrated, their families are also suffering, especially in poorer households where the whole family cannot afford to immigrate together, means they are not capable to migrate with the all family members. They immigrate one member at a time, resulting in eroded families structure and relationships. So eroded family structure means the family structure is getting damaged and their relationships are also getting damaged due to this migration. And most internal as well as international migrants end up in the cities of developing countries, putting enormous pressure on the limited resources. So where they are getting migrate, for that area it is very big pressure, because number of people means a huge, we can say population will be there, and that will pressurize the natural resources, economic resources of that area. So due to overpouring of people, the older cities like Mumbai, Kanpur, Delhi, these are facing many problems of housing, leading to people living in slums. So because more population, so less housing facilities, than those who are getting migrate, unfortunately they have to live in slums. So due to this reason, slums or slum areas are getting increased in the metropolitan cities. Then economic consequences, migration of people, just as international trade has a direct impact on both the sending country as well as the receiving country. The receiving country gains as immigration increases the supply of labor. So this is positive for the country, those who are receiving. Why? Because they are getting more labor, and which increase employment also, production also, and national income also. This is the positive impact. Then adverse impact of immigration includes loss of jobs for the locals. So those who were the locals already living and that in that particular area, when more population will come to get the jobs, to get the employments, the people, those who are living in that particular area already, they will have less job opportunities now, because more number of persons will be there for that particular jobs. Heavy burden on natural resources and public services. So these are again the negative impact. Then high skilled immigration, or the so-called brain drain. So brain drain means where skilled person will move from their own area towards another. It means that is the shifting of their skill also, their brain also, that is known as brain drain. That can imply a loss of public resources for the sending country. So this is loss for sending country, and the sending country gains through migrants as they transfer their earning to the home country in the form of foreign exchange. So what is the positive factor here? So when this skilled population, or this so-called brain drain is there, it's okay, our skilled population is getting drained towards another country, but when they are working in that, developed country, they will send their earning back for those persons who are left behind in homes. It means for sending country, it will be a source of foreign exchange. But the sending country losses due to reduction in skilled workforce, which is critical for productivity and economic growth. As skilled persons are getting migrate, so it is loss for the sending country due to less skilled worker in a particular country. It will affect the productivity, it will affect the economic growth. It means this is the negative impact of this migration. So now our chapter is over here. Just watch this video. If any doubt is there, you can message me, and I will try to clear your doubts, and next we will discuss its question answer. Thank you.